Welcome to Discover Journey, where we dive headfirst into the world's wildest and most stomach-churning culinary creations. Today, we're exploring 12 of the dirtiest, ugliest, and downright scariest street foods from across Africa. From crispy critters to dishes born in the depths of the wilderness, these foods push the boundaries of flavor, hygiene, and courage. Are you ready to uncover the shocking truth behind these extreme eats? Buckle up. This is not your average food tour. Number 2. Blood pancakes, Uganda. All right, fearless foodies, roll up your sleeves. It's time to whip up some blood pancakes. First, we're heading to the butcher, where fresh animal blood, usually from a cow or goat, is collected straight from the source. Picture buckets of dark red liquid still warm, sitting out in the open air. Sanitary? Let's just say it's a trust exercise with the local butcher. Now, the blood gets mixed with a bit of flour, maybe some spices, and that's it. Straight onto a hot pan. As the batter hits the sizzling surface, the aroma wafts up, metallic, gamey, and just a hint of barnyard nostalgia. The pancakes cook quickly, darkening to a deep, almost black color that screams, "This isn't your average breakfast." Time to dig in. The first bite is dense, slightly chewy, and unapologetically iron-rich, like licking a rusty nail, but in a strangely satisfying way. Locals swear by these pancakes as a source of protein and tradition, but for outsiders, it's a test of bravery and a very acquired taste. So what do you think? A savory delight or a plateful of regret? Either way, we've bled, metaphorically together, for this culinary adventure. Number 1. Bushmeat, various African countries. All right, thrill seekers, grab your sense of adventure. It's time to dive into the wild world of bushmeat. First, head to the local market, where the offerings range from roasted rodents to smoked monkeys. These critters are often hunted straight from the jungle, their habitat teeming with dirt, decay, and everything you'd rather not picture on your plate. Hygiene? Let's just say it's a rustic affair. The preparation is raw and unapologetic. Picture this, a skinned rodent, its tiny paws still intact, roasting over open flames. The smell? Smoky, meaty, with a faint whiff of forest floor. And don't forget the flies. They're here for the feast, too. Now for the tasting. Start with the rat. Yes, you're eating a rat. Its charred skin gives way to a surprisingly tender interior, but the flavor is intense, gamey, earthy, and unmistakably wild. Feeling brave? Try the monkey meat. Chewy, fatty, and full of surprises. For locals, bushmeat is more than a meal. It's tradition, survival, and sometimes a celebration. For outsiders, it's a gut check moment that might leave you questioning your life choices. So are you ready to unleash your inner predator, or are you tapping out? Either way, we've gone wild together. Number 3. Stink bug stew, South Africa. All right, brace yourselves. Today, we're cooking up stink bug stew. First, let's head to the forest, where these shiny little critters are hiding in the damp undergrowth or crawling around on leaves. Grab them carefully. They might release their signature defense mechanism, a pungent, eye-watering smell that makes you question your decisions. Gloves? Optional. Bravery? Mandatory. Now it's time to cook. Drop those stink bugs straight into a pot of boiling water, their shells hardening as the steam rises. The aroma is, let's call it, unforgettable. It's a mix of wet cardboard, sour chemicals, and regret. Some of that stench cooks out, but let's be honest, it's still there, lingering like a bad memory. For the tasting, brace yourself. The first bite is crunchy, with a burst of bitter, tangy juices that cling to your taste buds. The texture is somewhere between a roasted coffee bean and a rubber band, and the aftertaste is sharp enough to make you wince. Locals value these bugs for their bold flavor and protein content, but for the uninitiated, it's a test of endurance. So, are you ready to conquer the stink? Or is this stew one smell too far? Either way, we've survived this aromatic adventure together. Number 4. Caterpillars, various African countries. All right, adventurers, it's time to face the squirmy truth. Today, we're diving into caterpillars. First, head into the wild or local markets, where these plump, wriggling critters are harvested fresh off trees or scooped from the dirt. Yes, they've been living in leaves, bark, and whatever else the forest floor offers, including the occasional pile of who knows what. Cleanliness? Let's just say we're keeping it organic. Once collected, the caterpillars are gutted sometimes and sun-dried, often in open spaces where dust and flies add their own spices. Or, if you're feeling fancy, throw them straight into hot oil. As they fry, their once squishy bodies crisp up, releasing a smell that's a strange mix of roasted nuts and damp earth. Now for the moment of truth. Bite into one and you'll get a crackling crunch that gives way to an earthy, slightly bitter flavor, with a soft interior that might remind you of mashed leaves. The legs and tiny hairs provide an extra texture, like nature's version of popcorn with a twist. Caterpillars are beloved in many African countries for their protein-packed goodness and cultural significance. For outsiders, they're a culinary dare that tests your palate and your resolve. So who's ready for another handful? Or are you saving that bravery for tomorrow? Either way, we've crawled through this one together. Number 5. Cowskin, ponmo, Nigeria. Ready to chew on something truly unforgettable? Let's dive into ponmo. This dish starts with cowskin, often stripped straight from the carcass at the market, with tufts of hair and a hint of barnyard aroma still lingering. Cleaning involves burning off the fur, yes, burning, using firewood, kerosene, or even tires. Environmentally questionable but effective. The result? A charred, smoky slab that's as rustic as it gets. Next, the skin is boiled, chopped into pieces, and cooked in a spicy stew or sauce. The texture is the real challenge here. Rubbery, gelatinous, and unapologetically chewy. Imagine gnawing on a piece of leather with a slightly meaty undertone. Despite its humble and slightly alarming preparation, ponmo is a beloved delicacy in Nigeria, celebrated for its bold flavors and cultural significance. It's cheap, filling, and a source of pride for those who prepare it. Are you ready to gnaw your way through this chewy challenge, or will ponmo leave you questioning your love for culinary adventures? Either way, we've chewed through it together. Number 6. Grilled bat, West Africa. All right, team, let's fire up the grill. It's bat time. Bats, known as flying rats for good reason, are hunted in the wild, often near caves or fruit trees. Picture this: a hunter snaring these nocturnal creatures as they hang upside down, blissfully unaware they're about to become dinner. Their homes? Dark, damp caves teeming with guano, bat poop, and all the germs you'd expect in such a charming environment. To prepare, the bats are gutted, if you're lucky, roasted whole over open flames, and served with their wings still intact, crispy edges and all. The smell of charred meat fills the air, with a hint of musty sweetness that's not for the faint-hearted. Take a bite, and the first thing you'll notice is the chewy texture of the skin, followed by a burst of gamey, almost sour meat. The wings, thin and crispy like nature's weirdest potato chips. Locals value bats for their nutritional benefits and unique flavor, but for newcomers, it's an experience that clings to your senses long after the meal. Who's ready to take flight on this wild culinary adventure? All right, let's be real. Would you actually try any of these dishes? Or are you already reaching for a bottle of Sprite or a pack of Tums just thinking about it? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let us know if you've ever braved anything this wild, or if you're happily sticking to burgers and fries. And remember, this is just a pause, not the end. There are plenty more unique, red terrifying foods out there waiting for us to discover. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Discover Journey. catch you on the next culinary adventure. But for now, I need to convince myself that a giant pepperoni pizza is the antidote to everything I've just experienced. Anyone joining me for a slice?